All right. Hey, Glad. What are you running for the day one raid of Witch Queen? Normally, I crutch on Well of Radiance Warlock, but I'm going to be running Hunter in a day one raid for the first time, I think, ever. Even back to D1, I would just crutch self-res Warlock. Why am I running Hunter? Because Void 3.0 is just introduced into the game with Witch Queen, and I think it is the strongest that we have ever been before a raid. It is insane. And I don't mean like just power level. I mean just like straight your ability to do so many different things with the subclass, particularly with things like suppression and volatile rounds and explosions and the increased tether damage. It's just like Void 3.0 is really good. I'm very happy. I'm very pleased with it. I think Bungie did a good job. I hope they make the raid, like, I hope they kept 3.0 in mind when they were making the raid, because if they make the raid with, you know, previous Void in mind, we're gonna fucking shit on some enemies for sure. So let's take a look at what we're running. We will start off with the subclass. I know, before anyone says anything, before anyone says a thing, and I know you're already typing in the YouTube section and TikTok and all that stuff, I am fully aware, I'm 100% aware that my character looks fucking awesome. I know. So you just delete, just backspace, and just come up with something else to say, because I can only take so much of my Hunter looks amazing before my head gets too big. Okay, so we'll let that one go. All right, Night Stalker. We're gonna be running Mobius for the raid. The damage output, this new tether super is insane. It is literally a DPS super. It is so good. Now I will have Deadfall ready if I need to do more crowd control or CC, but for the most part, Mobius is going to be my play. Mobius can wipe out fucking champions without even stunning them. It can do like insane boss damage. It debuffs, it weakens, like it just does so much. And I think it's a wonderful super. It's definitely my favorite, but I will have Deadfall, but I'm going to be going in with Mobius. We're gonna run Gambler's Dodge. I changed that. I changed that back. I want to really smoke as much things as I can. I think we're gonna run Gambler's Dodge to start off. The more that I think about it. Yeah, I like that. I like having a constant supply of smokes. The reason I'm saying that is because I took off Omni chest piece, and I want to have as many smokes as possible. So I think Gambler Dodge is going to be the play. So because what I'm doing is I'm throwing snare smoke, so these weaken targets. So I'm going to be able to constantly weaken enemies and everything around me, and that's the point. That's one of the reasons that I'm running Hunter, is so that I can keep spamming stuff. So we're going to be running snare bomb. Yes. I'm going to be running triple jump as always, and then my nade is going to change. I'm going to start off with vortex. If I want to do more CC, I'm going to go with suppressor, and if I want to do like boss damage or something, magnetic grenade. Like, I'm just thinking like Atheon. Let's say that there's something where we can spam abilities, but most of the time I'll be chilling on vortex or suppression. When it comes to aspects, stylish executioner is the fucking creme de la creme. This thing is fucking OP as fuck, and really the main thing which makes the Hunter ridiculous right now. Stylish executioner is an OP aspect. You should be running it. I will read what it says. It says defeating a weakened, suppressed, or volatile target grants invisibility and true sight. So basically I can fucking see through walls and shit. I get hacks and I'm invisible. After performing a stylish execution, your next melee attack while invisible weakens targets. Nuts. Just is excellent. I love it. Stylish executioner is awesome. I'm going to be running vanishing step, which basically my dodge makes me go invisible. So I have this to go invisible. I'm weakening targets with my supers and my grenades. I am suppressing targets with my super. If I run suppression grenade, I'm suppressing. You'll see how I'm stacking volatile. So everything pretty much just keeps me invisible whenever I need it. And then I have a dodge, which like not only refreshes my melee, but also gets me out of trouble. But I'm pretty much just going to be spamming my dodge the whole time. Fragments, Echo of Expulsion, Void ability final blows cause targets to explode, and it gives me a +10 intellect. This is gonna be huge. I'm running this for the buff to mobility and intellect. I'm running Echo of Remnants, your lingering effect, since I'm gonna be maining a vortex grenade. They have increased duration. This is actually really good. I ran this when I did the campaign. And then your void grenades weaken targets. So I'm running expulsion, dilation, remnants, and undermining with a vortex grenade. So once again, gambler's dodge, triple jump, snare bomb, vortex grenade, stylish executioner, vanishing step, expulsion, dilation, remnants, and undermining with a Mobius quiver, and I'll have deadfall. So that's the short version. When we're looking at stat build, the most important thing for me is always 100 mobility, 100 recovery. I always will max those out. And unfortunately, with my current gear, I do need the buff from the 3.0, because the only way that I was able to get this 100 last time was with using powerful friends, but I'm not using powerful friends. So I need to use the buff in the subclass, and I'm fine with that. Resilience doesn't fucking matter. Unfortunately, my discipline is going to be low because of the fragment that I'm using here, but it's worth because I'm weakening targets, and it doesn't matter anyway because I'm just ability spamming. I still do have really good intellect, which is fine. I mean, intellect isn't as important these days, but you know, it'll work. All right, so on helmet, we're running recovery mod, kinetic siphon, harmonic siphon. That way I don't have to change my mods too much. No matter which kinetic weapon I use, I will be creating orbs. And then this will be, since I'm going to be trying to use just void weapons, I'll be making orbs for my teammates as well. And reaping wellmaker, this is probably the most important well mod that I have, because it guarantees that I create a void well, elemental well, after I dodge. So I'm going to dodge. With my 10 mobility, I'll be getting my dodge back really quickly, and then my very next kill is guaranteed to drop a well. Arms, mobility mod, I'm going to be running submachine gun loader. This I will swap out to whatever gun I'm using. I will also swap this out if I need an unstoppable hand cannon or an unstoppable pulse, or, you know, something, whatever I'm using. These mods will just change throughout the raid, but I'm starting off with an SMG. And then Font of Might, every time I pick up one of these void elemental wells, it's going to grant weapon damage to my void weapons, and I'm going to be maining void weapons. Chest piece, I think the meta this season is making all your chest pieces void, putting on the artifact thermoshock plating, which gives you reduced incoming solar and arc damage, and then you just slot void as well. So I have resistance against every element, instead of doing what I did last season and would do concussive, sniper, and melee. I'm doing the actual elements themselves. Then I'm running Well of Tenacity, so this is going to be my replacement for Protective Light, since my whole build and a lot of people on my team is revolved around void well spam, well generation, I should say. Every time I pick one of these up, it restarts a timer that gives me a what is the damage resistance on this? I think 50%. It's really good, and I highly recommend running this. I think if you're not running void, a protective light build is still a very viable thing, but if you're running void, fuck that shit and just run Well of Tenacity. Definitely the new meta. Boots, I'm gonna crutch double recoup, and I've done this before. Recuperation is the best health regenerating perk in the game with orbs. Better Already is fucking dog shit, and don't fucking believe anybody that tells you that Better Already is better, because they're full of fucking shit and they have no idea what they're talking about. Better Already sucks. Fuck Better Already. Fucking dog shit. Throw that shit away already is what it should be. Better Recuperation is the king. Why, Glad? Why? Because Better Already only starts your health and shield regeneration. So when you get hurt, you know, let's say you're completely red bar, about to fucking die, and you see an orb, and you slide over that orb. All that it does is it starts the regeneration at your normal recovery speed. But if at any point you step into a burn, or you take one bullet from anything, or anything touches you, if you take any sort of damage at all or hit by anything, that Better Already immediately stops. So like your health will start to recover. It'll recover like 2 points, and then it just stops. You're still red bar. You're fucking dead. Recuperation gives you immediate health instantly. There is no recovery. It's literally red bar, run over an orb, full health. Well, not full. I don't know what double recoup does, but double recoup does stack. As far as I know, it did. It used to. It does stack, and if I ever run into a situation where I need like a rocket scav or something like that, I can always swap out. But I'm just gonna crutch double recoup unless ammo is a problem. And then I'm running elemental armaments, and I'm choosing to run this over elemental ordnance. So elemental ordnance is another really viable thing, but I don't know how well my grenades, like I don't know what enemies are in the raid yet. I don't know how well my grenades are actually going to kill things. So elemental ordnance would be my grenade kills will spawn in elemental well. Elemental armaments works kind of the same as war mine cells. So every X amount of kills that I get with my void weapons, it's going to drop an elemental well of void as well. So I may swap these out at some point, but I think this is a pretty safe bet if I'm running a void SMG anyway. And then on my class item, this is a change we made last night. We decided to swap it to stasis affinity so we could get utility kickstart. When your class ability energy is fully expended, you get class ability energy. So every time I dodge, I just get some dodge energy back. I'm not sure how much you actually get back, but it's a little chunk. Like when you dodge, you see it. I'm running energy vampirism. The reason I'm just going to keep this on is because every time I tether, I'm suppressing. And if I ever swap to suppression grenades, this will also give me more ability spam, which I very well might do. And if I ever need overload grenades, this will be the quick hot swap that I swap out. And then volatile flow, this is pretty much the damage dealer of the build. So all of these void elemental wells that we're spawning with dodging and everything that we're spawning by suppressing and weakening targets and getting kills with our grenades and getting kills with our weapons, everything that's dropping these wells, that we're getting volatile rounds. And what's happening is when I'm killing enemies or just shooting them with a weapon that is buffed with this volatile flow, it's essentially sticking them with a void time bomb. And as you shoot these enemies that are stuck with volatile, let's say energy, it's just blowing up and chaining void explosions, which combined with the echo of expulsion explosions, we're just going to be exploding things and blowing things up like crazy. And everything is just going to be chaining void explosions. And that's really like, this ties the whole build together. As far as weapons, I've been talking about void the whole time. We got to go with funnel web. We're going to be starting off with funnel web. And if I feel that this is too close range and it's not getting the job done, I'm most likely going to make a quick hot swap to something with a little bit of range. And well, let's start with what we're starting. So we're starting with funnel web. We're going to go with Wither Horde because the gun is awesome and I fucking love it. And you can just plant these everywhere and it's a really good ad control weapon plus boss damage. It's just like a really versatile weapon. And then I'm going to start off with a rocket because this I rolled with enhanced field prep and frenzy, and this has frenzy as well. So these two will work really well together, and this will be good for major damage. This will be good for ad clear. And if we come to a boss, I'll just swap to one of my boss rockets. But I think a rocket is a really safe thing to load into a day one raid. A GL is safe too. I mean, even a machine gun. I've gone into raids before with a machine gun. So what other weapons do I have on me? Why all of these? So this is going to be basically if there's barrier, or if this is basically just for anti-barrier. If I come into a situation where I need to control an anti-barrier champion, if they are in the raid, I'll be ready. This is a brand new sniper. This is the PsyOp sniper. It's great. And this is, in my opinion, the best possible role that you can get. It comes with overflow and firing line, and you can actually craft this if you get enough red borders and do advanced overflow. This is going to be my auto-loading. This is going to be my auto-loading boss damage GL if I want to use a GL for boss damage. So this thing has spike grenades on it and is auto-loading, so I'll just, like, you know, shoot it, swap to something else. This is going to be my shotgun for my kinetic slot. I just like to keep like a shotgun and a sniper in each slot, and this gun is really good. This is the Deep Stone Crypt Shoddy, and Destruction and recombination is pretty much the best roll you can get. This is my hung jury. I don't have like any god roll hung juries, but this one's okay. This is if I need a scout for range. This is my pulse rifle. If I need like a sort of a like outside of SMG range, but maybe I don't want to use a scout, I'll have this pulse rifle. This is really good as well. This is also another PsyOps weapon, and I got a, in my opinion, a perfect roll. And then this is just if I want to whip out good old Fate Dinger, dude. I mean, a hand cannon's always a nice thing to have. I'm also going to be ready for unstoppable hand cannon or unstoppable pulse. Energy weapons. If I decide that I want to keep the void build going, but the SMG isn't cutting it for me, I'm going to have Graviton Lance ready. Now, if I'm swapping to Graviton Lance, I'll decide, okay, what's better in this encounter? Do I want a shotgun? Do I want a sniper? You know, like let's say that things are pushing me, but this isn't quite doing it. I'll swap to a shoddy, and then I'll swap to this. This is my new loadout. You know what I mean? I'm just going to have everything on like quick swaps. I'm also going to have a sniper and a shotgun. I have a fusion rifle. That's good enough. So sniper, I'm going to be running Adored, triple tap Vorpal, and this will be a boss weapon if I need it. Sunshot. So exotics, the reason why Graviton Lance is also so good, not only because it's void, but Sunshot and Graviton Lance and any exotic weapon that uses primary white ammo got a 40% buff to minor enemies. And minor enemies are actually going to be dangerous in a day one raid. So Sunshot is going to be absolutely fucking ridiculous. And this I already know is pretty good because I've been using it. The reason I have this is basically just so I have another hand cannon and some arc damage because I have void covered, I have arc, and I have solar covered. This is a void wave frame. I wanted a wave frame in my arsenal because they're really good. They're just good at like spraying at the ground and wiping out an entire wave of enemies. The reason I'm running void is I'm assuming that we might see Scorn, and there's a lot of void shields on dangerous enemies with Scorn, so I'm picking the void one over the solar one. This is my blinding GL, so if I want a blinding GL, I can just swap that on, and then let's say fucking boom. Now I have this, and then boom, I can throw on, you know, this is another loadout. I'm just gonna have like so many different options. And then last is a fusion. I mean, why not have a fusion ready to go? Why not? That's what I say. As far as heavies, I mean, obviously Gallahorn's nuts. Gallahorn is great. This is my rocket for ad clear. I rolled it with field prep, so I get a lot of ammo. These are my two boss rockets. If I want one that I just kind of want to like, you know, explosive light or maybe reload this and spam it, this will be this. But mainly I'm going to be using this one for boss damage. And I like lasting impression. I'm a fan of lasting impression because I like shooting it, letting it cook, and then swapping to like a sniper, you know, and then popping off with a sniper, letting it reload, swap back to lasting impression. Like I'm just a big fan. I always have been. A machine gun, because why not have one? Machine gun will be here. And then I want to have a GL. So this is a brand new GL, and this has impulse amplifier and explosive light. Really good roll. It also has spike grenades on it, so this could be a boss weapon. I'm bringing in a linear fusion. As you guys can tell, I love auto loading, so I'm bringing in one with auto loading and frenzy. And then parasite will be really good if there's like some chunky major enemies that like come out of back doors and you just want to wipe them out real quick. Literally, if you have this equipped and you're dealing damage with this, that motherfucker comes out of the door, you hit him with a ×20 parasite, he's gonna get deleted. Parasite is also really good for like clearing a huge wave of enemies because it has pretty good blast radius. But yeah, I'm gonna be definitely starting off with this is gonna be my starter. I think I'll be good. And if I'm like, fuck, I'm slacking on a little bit of range here. Like, you know, let's say you walk into the first encounter and it's just stuff is outranging you. Like the quickest swap is going to be like whatever fucking, I mean, I could literally just go bang. Now I have the range covered. So many options, and that's what I like about it. That's it. That's my day one raid loadout. We don't get these moments often anymore, man. So I'm super excited. So Warlock would be the same weapons. Just ignore the weapons. Warlock for me is recovery, discipline, and intellect. I would probably move some of this intellect up to mobility, but I'm not putting a full-blown Warlock build together. I'm kind of like, I mean, I'll fucking throw this on. If, God forbid, I need to make a quick swap. But like, for the most part, my Warlock is completely ready to go if I need it. Healing Rift, definitely. Burst Glide, Pocket Singularity, and Vortex Grenade. Child of the Old God. So when you cast your Rift, you create a Void Soul. You damage a target with a weapon. Your Void Soul flies to them and drains them, doing damage and weakening them. So this is really good, actually. Chevy got me onto this one. So you're weakening targets. You're draining them. It's like your little Void buddy. When a target is being drained, you are granted grenade and melee energy, so it works perfect. The whole idea with the Warlock is to just ability spam, get your abilities back as quickly as possible, and just keep tossing them out. Just like the Warlock is a little bit different than the Hunter. You're just like throwing everything out. Novas and nades and fucking throwing your melee and just keep funneling your Rift. You know, that's the idea behind this build. Feed the Void is just devour. Your fragments are going to be Echo of Leeching for health regen, Expulsion, so Void abilities cause your targets to explode. Undermining, your grenades weaken. I feel like you should just always have this on any character. And Echo of Remnants, your lingering grenade effects last longer. I prefer Nezarec Sin, but there's so many different ways that you can go with this. Like Error's running Verity for the grenade. People run, what's it called? The gloves, the exotic gloves for the grenade energy. Like Nezarex just gives void kills, increase ability regen. That's if you're going to be using the actual void weapon. If you swap off of your void weapon and use something else, one of the other exotics might be better. but Nezrex is what I'm using. I'm running Dynamo for the super regen, Reaping Wellmaker, so every time I put down a rift, my next kill will spawn a well. Grenade Kickstart. When I throw a grenade, I get grenade energy back. Font of Might to buff my void weapons. Submachine gun loader will change. I'm running arc resistance, solar resistance, void resistance, and well of tenacity. So every time I pick up a well, I get a protective effect. Recuperation, once again, stacking it. Elemental armaments, which is every time I get an X amount of kills with void weapons, it will spawn an elemental well. I think it's like someone said like 7 kills. And then as the same with the hunter, you would run stasis, utility kickstart. So when you use your rift, you get rift energy back. Devouring depths is better. It says casting your void super while you are critically wounded or benefiting from devour increases your damage with that super. I feel like that is better. I feel like that is better for Warlock. And then volatile flow to pull it all together. That's what I would run with Warlock. So if I do have to swap to Warlock, this is what I'm running. Warlock is a really good, strong void class. And if I ever needed to swap over to Well of like, let's say we run into a situation where we need a well, like absolutely need a well, I would swap over to Transversive Steps. I would put on Taking Charge most likely. And then I would swap over a helmet that would have Protective Light. And then I would do, most likely would do Kinetic. But anyway, I would swap over to this, and then this would be my new build with Well of Radiance, if I had to, because you might need a well at some point. Like if we ever, if we're gaming and we're like, dude, one more well would just make such a big difference, I'll have a well ready to go with a Protective Light. I guess I would use Luna's. Yeah, you bring up a good point. That's a good point. That's a fair point. So I'll have that ready instead. Luna's would definitely be better.